Oh, yeah, straight out of anger management. It's time for Wrestle AM, courtesy of Kocosports.com. Of course, you got the Coco crew here holding it down live. You got me, the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, Boom Boom here shaking the room. And, of course, joining me is my partner, mi amigo, talking about Dr. Dave Kokotis. What is up, Dave? Good to see you again.
Good day, sir. Good day. And finally, Boom Boom makes his return. We told him February Impact was good. We told him in New York City it was good. He was just doing Monday Night Raw reviews. He used to do Impact reviews too. We brought him back. Rob is supposed to be here, but he's MIA. TNA, has it not improved? Has it not improved? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I'm a little entertained. I'm not going to say it was like fantastic, but it was an okay show. I mean, I've seen a lot worse from TNA, and they sure as hell are nowhere near as bad as WWE right now. So, you know, when you set the bar that low, it's pretty easy to kind of step up over that, and, you know, so it feels like you're accomplishing much, but not to be negative, you know, because, you know, otherwise we'll have to go back to anger management again and have to told to worship the elite. You know, it was okay. Now, Dave, let's break down this Impact. Now, we're going to try to zip through this a little bit faster than what we normally would because we're immediately following the show. We're going to try to work in a NXT pay-per-view profits. So good luck on that one. So let's just start out here, Dave. The opening match, Chris
Hold on, not so fast, my fellow friend. You haven't done this in a while. I know you're fast, but you got to put win, loss, or tie. Please, down below, put win, loss, or tie what you thought of tonight's Impact. I'm going to give it a slight win. I mean, I could see a tie, but I'm giving it a slight win just because winning it's momentum. You had to do a bunch of good shows in a row. You convert WWE fans like Boom Boom to come back. That's it. TNA, go out and try to convert some WWE fans because, well, it's not the best, but it's the best America's got on national television at least.
I gotta give my opinion on everything. Yeah, okay.
Well, win, loss, or tie, jerkface. Win, loss, or tie. Your cat gives it a win.
I'll give it a strong tie. That's what I'll give it. I'll give it a strong tie.
Converting these WWE guys are not going to be easy. All right, let's break it down. Go ahead.
All right. Opening match, Chris Melendez versus DJZ. Sir, tell me what you thought.
I don't know. There's two sides of me. There's the positive side and the negative side. Let's go over the positive side. Happy for a veteran, happy for a handicapped guy, feel-good story. Am I right? It's a feel-good story. Yeah. The negative side right here with me is that does it seem kind of, I don't know, when I saw it, maybe I'm former military, I just thought it was a big ball of cheese. Like, there's a positive side that I'm like, oh, injured veteran, living his dream, way to go. And then there's, like, the negative side, like, oh, my God, this is as bad as giving a Purple Heart to John Cena. I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I think me being former military, kind of like, oh, I felt like there was pressure. I gotta like this. It's like, oh, you have to. He's former military. You're former military. You know the secret handshake. Only veterans know the secret handshake. True story. And there's no secret handshake.
Penises, right?
Hey, let's focus on but yeah, I'm happy for him. It's a feel-good story, but I wonder if they'll ever do it again. Like, is this a one-time deal? Is he going to come back? Is he going to? The match was quick. DJZ really protected him. And it was a bit sloppy at times, but it was good. I thought it was good. But it was definitely a feel-good story. But I don't know. When you do too many feel-good stories, it feels... Because remember Jesse Neal? Jesse Neal was a veteran in the Navy. And, yeah, he's gone. So I wonder if they get these veterans and they bring them on and they're like, oh, it feels great. USA, USA. Never come back. I mean, this ain't fucking monsters.com. No, I'm serious about that fucking last statement. Fuck you, monster. But, yeah, a lot of people like to pretend to hire veterans, but that's it. It's like a PR move. It's like, look, we have a veteran. Nice to see you. Glad you could come today. Like, that's how long the job lasts. Like, you just show up, you're a veteran. You're like, yeah, I'm glad I'm doing a job that I'm really not qualified for. And you're like, that's enough. You can walk out this way. You know, so I don't know. I hope I hope this wasn't just a cheesy, feel-good PR move. I hope he actually has a shot. Because Jesse Neal, it was a better wrestler than this guy, and they just treated him like shit. So it's kind of one of those things. There's a lot of big companies that hire veterans for a PR move and then get rid of them as soon as they can. And it's weird because I've been in job interviews as a veteran where I was like, yeah, I led 500 Marines against Cobra Commander and his fucking evil troops while they shot at me. All right, some of that is factual, some of that is not. But move it along. And they're like, yeah, but do you have any real leadership skills? I'm like, well, yeah, I just said I led 500 Marines at the age of 19. No. I mean, have you ever managed a McDonald's? And you're like, is this conversation really fucking happening? So I hope that this isn't a feel-good PR stunt move. I hope that he keeps training at Team 3D, and I hope they give him more opportunities. Because really the only veteran that's kind of doing good is Gunner. So I don't know. I don't know. Me being a negative veteran fucker, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh, this is a PR move. Because there's some phone companies that will advertise. They'll advertise that they work with veterans, but in their contracts it says, yeah, when veterans go overseas, even though it's illegal to keep charging them, we still will. So I think a lot more people pretend to be nice to veterans in a PR move or pretend to give veterans an opportunity, and then they're like, all right, the PR's over. Thanks for coming to New York. You're fucking done. So I want to see if this was just a cheesy fucking veteran PR move or if this kid really has a shot and they're really going to give him an opportunity. And, you know, he's an injured vet, one leg. It's a feel-good story, but I don't think it'll be a feel-good story if he just disappears. If it was a one-time shot, I'll be like, yeah, that was kind of a PR move. Go fuck yourselves. So I got mixed feelings. I hope this isn't the last time he's there. Booms, you, not being a veteran, what's your opinion of this? Was it feel good USA being a, WWE converted TNA fan? Well, what did you think of the opening match?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty, I thought it was a decent moment. I mean, it's, a little on the cheesy side, but yeah, it was a pretty good, it was a feel good. I mean, let them have it. I mean, come on, if WWE's doing this with Rusev and Jack Swagger, why can't TNA do it and, put a little bit more positive spin on it? I mean, you got to, thank all these service guys because, without them, I mean, we're not able to do the things that we do. So, yeah, give them a little props. Toss the guys a bone every now and then. Come on.
All right, so there you go. All right, next match, because this match was kind of short, but the hype and this feel-goodness of it was what took over. All right, go ahead.
All right, next we had some six-man tag action. We had Bobby Roode teaming up with Eric Young and Samoa Joe to take on Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Kenny King. I'm noticing a little pattern here.
And what's that, sir?
Well, you know how we criticize WWE for doing something?
Yeah.
I've
been accused of doing that once or twice in my life.
TNA is doing the exact same thing, so I'm just saying, not saying it was a bad match, but, I thought it was, relatively entertaining. What did you think about it?
I'm gonna call this one right down the middle. I'm going to call it right down the middle, because I think there was good and bad about this. The good is that with MVP, Lashley, and Kenny King being a three-man faction, six-man tags make sense. The problem is it made sense 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. It seems like just because we said, wow, having a three-man team makes sense, that you're abusing it. I think, the six-man tag does work because MVP, Kenny King, Bobby Lashley are a legit team, and the other three guys, are going after the title and been fucked over by this group, so it does make sense. It's not like it's a WWE main event where they just threw a bunch of people together. At least storyline, it does make sense. The problem with this is, though, they do it too often. I was like, wow, maybe 2 weeks ago, I was like, man, a six-man tag. Holy shit, a six-man tag, that makes sense. 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh, a rematch of the six-man tag, that makes sense. This week, I'm like, all right, we fucking get it. We get it. We get it. I think it's one of those they were playing blackjack and getting really lucky, and then they just kept saying bet it all, and then the first time they won big, the second time it was a push, and the third time you lost all your fucking money. Usually the six-man tag does make sense because of MVP, but like I said, it doesn't because they've gone to the well too many times. That's my humble opinion about it. I did enjoy the match the first time I saw it 6 weeks ago. I don't think it's as bad as WWE because, you know, we're bringing up WWE a lot because Boom Boom gave up on TNA. We're trying to convert them. And plus, WWE is the #1 competition. I know a lot of TNA fans don't mention WWE. All right, well, fucking, all right. Then if I could do something that's completely different. You know, if you're doing six-man tags all the fucking time and they're doing six-man tags, you're going to have to compare that. Like, I don't compare Dragon Gate to WWE because it's completely fucking different. I compare New Japan to WWE just because WWE is the monopoly of pro wrestling, and I want to convert people to see good pro wrestling. I don't think TNA has the luxury of Dragon Gate and New Japan. I think it's a good six-man tag match. I just think they went to the well too many times. But I enjoyed the match overall, and I hope Kenny King gets a better push. It always seems like Kenny King is the Glass Joe of this group.
All right. Now, next here, there's a few things that here, and I know I've been away from TNA for a while, so some things confuse me. Maybe you should clear this up for me here. In the What the Fuck Did I Watch match of the night, it was the Bromans and Velvet Sky versus the Menagerie. Now, Dave, this is just my impression here of what I've got from it was, did the beautiful people become like a faction and had the Bromans, or is the beautiful people still a thing and the Bromans still a thing and they just combined forces? And then Nux, who used to be a biker with Aces and Eights, apparently left and came back and now is hosting Sideshow Freaks. And these guys all got into an all-out, brawl. What the hell's going on with this?
All right, listen. You ever have your kids do something absolutely great, or maybe a friend of yours, a younger friend, a younger brother, do something absolutely great, and then you go, hey, you should see how good my daughter is. You should see how good my son is. And then that's when they decide to take a shit on the fucking living room floor. This segment is that. Like, I'm like, look how good TNA is. Don't look at that. Don't look at the fucking freaks. Don't fucking look at, no. Basically, this was a thrown-together tag team match, but the reason the beautiful people, I wish this wasn't true. Like I'm trying to convert you to TNA, but you had to point out that the kids are shitting on the coffee table, didn't you? You didn't look at the honor roll. You didn't look at the report cards on the fridge. You look at the kids shitting on the table. This is the kids shitting on the table. Let me tell you, the Circus Freaks, they come in and out for no fucking reason. They have a storyline where they have to wrestle to make money to save a carnival back home. I wish I was making this up. That's really the story. But the worst part is that's the best story in the ring. The other side of the story is the Bromans. They went on a blind date. I'm not making this up. I swear to Christ, I'm not making this up. TNA, you should be ashamed of yourself that I have to repeat this to a WWE fan. I think anyone in creative has to be able to repeat storylines to their competition, and if they're too embarrassed to continue the story, fucking stop that storyline. I'm fucking Boom Boom. It doesn't watch TNA. I fucking drag him in, but you gotta fucking watch this shit, and that I have to describe what's going on. I have to tell him what's going on. All right, they go on a blind date. And they both think they're dating the same knockout. They're like, I'm dating knockout. I'm dating knockout. How can we both be dating the same knockout? And then it's the beautiful people, and they have each separate knockouts. That's it. That's the end of the story, Booms. That is the end of the story. And that is TNA shitting on the table.
Oh, wow. Let's see here. Next, okay, I got some more questions to follow. Like I said, I've been away from TNA for a while. So, apparently I saw Devon and Bully Ray, and I thought that Bully Ray finished up with the company, and then Kurt Angle on TV, and I thought that he was wrapping up his career or whatever he was moving on, but I saw them there. And then apparently...
I heard reports that Kurt Angle has re-signed. I don't know how true it is, but I heard reports Kurt Angle re-signed. If it didn't re-sign, his contract ends this month. And Bully Ray, there's been reports he's walking out, but I guess he's going to finish this feud and this story. and he's got the Hall of Fame, and the ticket sales are doing pretty good, which I'm kind of pissed off at. Can I rant about Impact TNA, the company?
It won't
There's a
stop
question,
you anyway.
TNA. This is a good thing for TNA, a bad thing for me. My question to you, TNA. How come when I go to buy tickets to the pay-per-view, you say I have to wait till September 11th, but then you send out a press release saying ticket sales are doing good? Who the fuck is buying the tickets? I cannot buy the tickets till tomorrow. How can the ticket sales be doing good? You fucking sons of bitches. Yeah. So, what were we talking about? I hope to get good tickets tomorrow.
All right. Well, anyway, this led to a match. It led to a street fight. It was EC3 versus Rhino, who's apparently in TNA again. That led to a street fight. It kind of went all over the place. There were some chair shots. A garbage can, but eventually EC3 got the win. I thought it was okay. I think that's one place where TNA can differentiate themselves from WWE. I'm not saying they should do this every week or every match, but they can go there when it comes to the violence.
Well, none of that, but then it feels like you're watching something. You feel like you're watching an alternative and something that WWE is not doing. And on top of that, EC3 is just pure fucking gold. I love EC3 more than a straight man should. I think he's probably one of the best characters in all of pro wrestling right now. I noticed how
that list is getting longer, Dave.
What's that? Love him more than a straight man should? Well, you know what?
That list is getting longer by the day. I think I may have some news for you, sir.
No, it's like Booker T's Fave 5. There's not really just 5. But no, I absolutely love this. I love the feud and where it's going and the promos. And Rhino, he's not a big factor, but he's still a factor. He crushed Spud last week, and this week EC3. So, yeah, I actually enjoyed the EC3 segments the most. So I enjoy this match a lot, and I honestly do believe, from the bottom of my heart, EC3 is probably the best character going right now in America. Maybe worldwide, but in America, definitely. I don't know if people share that with me, but I just see him, and I'm like, dude, this guy's fucking nailing it. I know everyone has different opinions when it comes to characters, but I absolutely love him. I was just sad that he didn't do the thing. Usually it was like, you can't wrestle. He's like, no, I have to disagree with you. You can't wrestle. I believe I can. That's some gold shit that you missed right there, but yeah. So there you go. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Go ahead.
All right, next year we had a tag team match. Apparently James Storm and the Great Sonata teamed up with each other, but I wasn't excited about that. I was excited about seeing Austin Aries' partner Tajiri again. I love me some Tajiri, but hey, I thought it was a pretty good tag match, and it actually went for a decent amount of time. Were you as entertained as I was on that one?
Yeah, I was really entertained. I love everything about this. I love the return of Tajiri. Austin Aries, as long as I don't read his fucking Twitter, is okay in my book. Fucking Austin. My body, my ring, my vote. Fucking whatever. All right, I cannot forgive Austin Aries for that, and it's a fucking part of my heart that is dark. But I also like Sonata, and I like the Muda gimmick. The storyline's a bit ridiculous for my taste. But I love everyone involved in it, so I give it a 5.
Is dead somewhere.
Yeah, and all of that, but then they steal fucking Manic, and they're like, we're gonna unmask him. I'm like, Hogan did that like 20 years ago, and he's like, oh, my mask hurts.
There's T.J. Perkins.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. The storyline is absolutely horrible, but you love the wrestlers, so it's kind of like, oh, can we just skip to the match? I don't want to fucking hear it. So yeah, and my best part was there was some pro wrestling fans, American pro wrestling fans in the crowd. They're like, "You still got it," and then they had some Japanese pro wrestling fans that actually went, beyond it. And they're like, "He never lost it." Tajiri is kind of a celebrity in Japan. He does a lot with baseball. I don't know. He's a celebrity, and he has his own wrestling company. or he did. I don't know. His wrestling company's like in business, out of business, in business, out of business. So as of right now, I don't know if this is factual, but he has his own wrestling business, and it's strange. It's very fucking weird. Like, it'll just open up, and Tajiri will fucking do karaoke and singing, and then, yeah, it's one of those weird Japanese promotions that Tajiri runs. But, and now he's, thanks to the connection with TNA, him and Wrestle One are working together. And the big news out of Japan, it does involve TNA, is that the Great Muta, W1, and also working with TNA, has been in New Japan offices today. We know for a fact he's in New Japan offices. We don't know why. We're hoping that maybe it has something to do with mending the fences with TNA, and maybe we'll see New Japan guys there. Because New Japan does work with Muta often, and the Japanese companies do. But as of Wrestle Kingdom 5 and the deal with Okada, New Japan fucking despises TNA. So we're hoping that the Great Muta brings over some fucking doves or some peace treaty or green tea or whatever they do in Japan, and they get past this, because I'd love to see Okada and Tanahashi. I'd love to see Okada and Tanahashi back in TNA. But, you know, they have a working relationship with Jarrett. They have a working relationship with Ring of Honor. But in Japan, even though New Japan is the #1 company, the WWE of Japan, they're willing to work with other people. So maybe he just went up there for a publicity stunt. Maybe he just went there because he's the Great fucking Muta. Why the fuck can't the Great Muta go to New Japan? But people living in Japan and TNA fans that do pay attention to Japan are hoping that TNA gets in good graces with New Japan again. Because if you read the Japanese blogs and listen to Japanese fans at pro wrestling bars in Tokyo, yeah, New Japan really fucking hates TNA. I'm not blaming anyone. Jeff Hardy, Rob Van Dam, Dixie Carter. I mean, I'd hate to list names, but yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And all that, but Okada's the best wrestler in the world, and you could have had him. But you might have been a tad racist. Yeah. So, I don't know if they were racist or more just fucking dickbags. It's hard to tell, because TNA has been dickbags to white people, too. But, you know, when a Japanese when the best wrestler in the world comes there and you don't know what to do with them, and you literally ask him, we don't know who you are, it's just like, why the fuck are you even having a work relationship? If you have a working relationship with New Japan and you don't fucking know who Okada is, you have a fucking problem. You fucking pieces of shit. And fuck you, Jeff Hardy, Rob Van Dam, Melendez, motherfuckers. This is Wrestle Kingdom. This ain't a TNA house show. Sorry, just get a little mad because I was at Wrestle Kingdom fucking 5 and fuck TNA. But yeah, hopefully it could be just Muta's going over there to scratch his balls, but hopefully it leads to New Japan working with TNA, because they don't have in Japan they don't have the ego as much as American companies do. All right, bam. So I enjoyed the match, and I'm glad Tajiri is back, and I want to see where Sonata goes. I am not happy with the storyline, but I'm happy with the talent. And I consider that a tie. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've been in that situation before. All right, you want to go some live comments to break it up?
No, let's just wrap this bad boy up, because I'm looking here. I'm really not seeing any questions, and I'm just not going to sit here and read comments all night.
You're a jerk.
I know. I learned from the best, Dave Kocosports. Let's see here. We had a tables match. It was a 3-team tables match. Man, a lot of tag matches on the show tonight. You had Team 3D versus the Hardys versus the Wolves. First of all, I thought Davey Richards' leg was broken, so I don't know how this came about. But both the Hardys back together, Team 3D. My God, this is all. Hey, add Edge and Christian, and boom, then we've got like TLC back in 2000. So, actually a pretty decent match. I kind of seen it before, but the Wolves were a nice touch. I was a little shocked by the ending, but I guess in a good way.
Yeah, and the thing is with TNA, it's I think the American Wolves have to win this. And I did read something. I try to stay away from spoilers. I know that makes me less of an expert, but we never said we were experts. But I do believe this is. Yeah, well, a lot of people are like, "Well, you're on YouTube. You're an expert." I'm like, "No, that's not how it fucking works at all." I think the word expert has been utterly destroyed by the internet. And exclusive. The words exclusive and expert mean nothing. Thanks, internet. But I don't know. Mainstream media does that bad. Do you get pissed off? Booms, you're leaving in a couple days to a new station. Has your station ever said this is exclusive when it hasn't been at all?
No, we've had some other stations we compete against go, oh, this is exclusive or only on, whatever. And we're like, bullshit, we got the same motherfucker too. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, the word exclusive and expert gets thrown around too much.
Well, because chances are the audience doesn't know anyway. Because, I mean, okay, I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I watch news differently than a normal human being watches it, considering I'm in an actual fucking newsroom. When I'm back in the booth producing a show, I've got 2 TVs in the booth where I'm at, and I can look up, see what my competition's running. So when I'm watching, when the news is going on, I'm watching, what I'm doing, and then I'm looking up, kind of looking up at the corner, see what the other guys are doing. And even when I'm just in the newsroom, there's TVs all around. We've got, at least one TV dedicated to each, of our competition. So any time of day, I can always look up and see what's going on. So when they're running stuff side by side, I know that when someone generally watches like a show, they're not really flipping around, or watching them all at the same time. You can only, theoretically, you can only watch one, news station at a time, unless you've got like multiple TVs, got your smartphone, tablet, whatever hooked up. And I don't know why you would do that anyway. So but some stations take advantage of that, knowing that okay, they're not going to flip around. They're not. So they'll say, well, exclusively on or only on. They'll do that, knowing that the audience isn't flipping around or watching all these stations at the same time. So yeah, that does get abused and gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah, that and expert. I've been called an expert so many times where I'm just like, you're really abusing that word. Like they're like, you come give a speech at a class. You ran Combat TV. I'm like, yeah, I did run Combat TV back in the day. So like I go in there and they're like, expert at streaming technologies. I'm like, whoa. Up your brakes there.
No,
kid.
Really.
But anyway, back on track. We're no experts.
Anarchy, which I think revokes his anarchy license.
Yeah. So we're no experts. We don't read spoilers. I did read something about an injury, but right now the Wolves are down, and I believe if the Wolves lose this, either to injury or bad booking, I'm gonna be sad. Just because Jeff Hardy's the Hardys are douches. Let's be completely honest. I love Jeff Hardy. I look the other way every time he does something wrong. You're just a hater. They're fucking douchebags, and you're overpaying them. And the Dudleys have said that, yeah, dude, we're done. Same thing with Kurt Angle. I find it weird that TNA, it's not as bad as it used to be, but I find it weird that you have these WWE guys and you push them to the moon and don't use them correctly booking-wise, but then you even know their contract's up and you're still like, no, let's just fucking make them look great. I don't know. It just sometimes, it's not as bad as it used to be,
here's what I would compare that to.
Still burns my buns.
Dave Koko's, here's what I would compare it to. That would be like some chick, some decent looking chick, hanging off your arm, and basically being like, yeah, I totally want to fuck that guy over there because he's better looking and has more money, but he's not going to give me the time of the day. So I'm just going to hang out with you and just be with you until this guy says he wants to like bang me. Then I'm totally going to go fuck him. That's kind of what this is kind of what this is like.
All right, Booms, we're going to be doing an NXT preview show, but you know what? Daddy's taking charge. We're going to quick comments. I think we're going to go one comment each. Franielli says, Jesus Christ, Booms here, as the Apocalypse arrives earlier than expected. Booms. Franielli's shitting his pants that you're on a TNA show.
Hello.
Andy Papp says, going to give Impact a win. Match of the night was the main event, and good to see Booms doing a ton review. I think he meant TNA review, but we still love you, Andy Papps.
Yeah, we want
Mikey says, I feel tonight was a win. Mr. The King says, do you guys hate Crazy Steve? Yes. Yes, I do. I fucking hate Crazy Steve with all my heart, and I don't understand why people like him. Like, I'm missing something. I do not
First time
like.
I've seen the guy.
I fucking hate. Dude, sometimes he gets huge pops. Like, I think in the UK, people went fucking batshit crazy for him. I have not looked at Crazy Steve's Wikipedia page. Maybe he's something special, but everything I've seen of him, I'm like, oh my god, I fucking hate this. Rebel is the sexiest knockouts. Hell, even beats the Divas, that booty and flexibility. Rebel is pretty hot in that ass. Did you see that Rebel ass?
Oh yeah.
TNA. Oh, we forgot to talk about the Knockouts. The Knockouts had a promo, and Havoc came out and stole the belt. So I thought that was kind of interesting. See where that's going. Do you guys like when Bobby Roode gave Lashley respect the way he did? Question mark. That's for Mr. the King. I like it just because it feels like a sport. Why not? You're going to fight him anyway. I don't know. Like, the UFC and boxing does this sometimes. And maybe I'm just, talking shit is great. But as soon as you have the fight, what's the fucking point? It's like you talk shit to get the fight, but once you have the fight, be like, we'll see what happens. So, but, they have to sell tickets. TNA needs to stop the six-man tag crap. See, Mr. the King's on board with you. Danny Allmark says, I say tie. TNA is good, but some of the storylines are not working for me. Danny Allmark, I could agree with that. Mr. the King says, EC3 is the TNA Damien Sandow, and like The Miz, they moved up in my book. Not hated that much. I love EC3. And this will be the last question. Anything else, we'll try to answer in the comments. Or a last comment anyway. We'll try to answer in the comments, or if it's good enough, we'll make a Stump the Idiot video. I have 2 Stump the Idiots coming up because people have done fan art, and I want to get back to them. So here we go. Last comment. You ready for last comment?
Ready for the last comment.
Booms. Why are you so negative, man? You're negative and have hate in your heart.
Right. You calling me? Hello. Hi. Have you met the kettle?
All right, last question, or last comment, because I don't even know if it's a question. Mr. Biggs, a.k.a. the bad guy. TNA messed up bad because they had Okada and botched it. Now he's a superstar in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was a superstar before that, but he was so young, and he's still young. They had Tanahashi, they had Okada, they had Roderick Strong, they had CM Punk, they had access to all the Ring of Honor guys that are main eventing now. So, yeah, TNA has always messed up bad, and that's why nothing, dude. Listen, I root for TNA. I want them to be good. I want them to get the deal on Spike TV. I really want to be on board. I've been watching it for a long time. I don't want them to go out of business, nothing. But nothing makes me more fucking angry. Nothing makes me fucking burn my biscuits more, as I probably used that phrase way too much today. Nothing makes me angry when someone goes, well, you get mad at WWE guys. Well, where else do they got to go? Think about it. Think about it. You could have CM Punk versus Okada. You could have had that. You could have had that. You could have had all these great matches. So, fucking all these people like, oh man, if it was legal, I could get away with it. Like, if I had one wish, I would be like, every time Dixie Carter says, well, yeah, you have to go to WWE because where else are you going to get talent? Or anyone in TNA says something like that, or any TNA fan says something like that, I wish I had the magical powers to punch you in the fucking face and get away with it. I don't want to, fight you. I just want, like, a magical Coco fist. Be like, BAM! Like, out of nowhere, Dixie Carter's like, yeah, well, it's hard to find talent. Where else could you go but WWE? And just a magic fist appears, like blue screen. It goes, pow! And then whoever's doing the interview is like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, that happens very often. It drives me fucking crazy. Sometimes when I hear that, because I want TNA to succeed, but I almost fucking want to burn the house down when I hear that. Like, oh, where else can you go? It's like, yeah, fucking you could have had these stars. You could be the biggest fucking thing in the world, but instead you listen to Hulk Hogan. Instead you listen to Eric Bischoff. And where did it get you? Where did it get you? Where did it get you? So fuck you. I love TNA, but anyone that says, oh, well, don't be mad that they get WWE guys and shove them down your throat, because where else could they go? They could have had CM Punk. They could have had Okada. They could have had Tanahashi. They could have had Daniel Bryan. They could have had Cesaro. They could have had 2 of the 3 members of the Shield. They could have the best wrestlers in the world right now. Prince Devitt, Kenta, Kevin Steen. All these guys were available. Where the fuck were you? Where the fuck were you? And the only guys that I could say, like, right now, if you said, hey, if they fucking built the roster the right way, the only guys you could say is they wouldn't have access to Roman Reigns and they wouldn't have access to Dolph Ziggler. Everyone else they had access to that are the best fucking wrestlers in the world, and they turned a blind eye to it. They turned a blind eye to it by fucking pure fucking stupidity. So you could be like, oh, they don't have it, they don't have the money, they didn't have the chance, where else are they gonna go? Here's the sad part. WWE beat you at Moneyball. And what that means is that's a sports term, that using your money for the best. Usually when you have a lot of money, you can spend it blindly and be okay with it. But when you're a small franchise like the Oakland A's or the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, go Rays! Beating the Yankees. Did you see that? Did you fucking see that? That's my motherfucking Rays! Let's not talk about the Bucks. Anyway.
I think the Rays scored more points than the Bucks, didn't they?
I don't want to talk about it, Booms. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, but yeah, TNA messed up completely, horribly, and I think that's their worst mistake. I think just not getting who the fuck they were supposed to get, and it makes me so fucking angry. But they're turning it around, and they don't have money, or as much money, and that's a good thing. You know, as a fan, them losing all this is great. And even as a business person, it's great, because you only got a 1.0 with all that money. Well, let's say you drop down to an 0.8, but you save millions and millions of dollars. Could you dare maybe one day tell Sports Illustrated you make profit? I'm looking at you, Miss Hunt. Why didn't you follow up on that question? Maybe one day you could say you make profit. And you know what? That would be a huge win. That would be a huge win. But as a fan, I do find TNA to be entertaining right now. Booms, did you just lose your shit?
No, my camera just fell.
I thought you were like, fuck you! TNA is wonderful. I love it. Anyway, TNA, I give it a slight win. If some people give it a tie, I understand. Please, in the comments, put win, loss, tie. Like, comment, subscribe, and above all, go to Kocosports.com, KOCOsports.com, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. We will be back in, 10, 15 minutes? With our NXT preview. What's that?
Probably not even that much.
All right, so stay tuned. Check out Coco Sports' YouTube page. We'll be back. With that, I am over. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.